our emergency video. This is a red alert emergency video. It's 10:30 at night. We planned on doing this had the trailer dropped at Comic-Con, had we gotten any news. And at first it seemed like we weren't going to get anything. And then about the point in time last night where I was like in bed and I get a text from you, and I kind of scroll over it, and I thought, and I didn't really grasp everything. And then at like 5 o'clock this morning, I messaged you. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. Well, you know, I heard about this, that it was possible because this is what's happened before with past, you know, Halloween films.
Yes.
And it's a big CinemaCon thing. Now the time frame I heard was like 4:30, but then again, I think that's in LA, so it's LA time.
3 hours.
So different. Obviously right. I didn't realize that. So here I am last night at like, I don't know, maybe close to about 9 o'clock, and I was like, holy shit. They dropped a trailer. Yeah. And I messaged you immediately. I'm like, dude, we gotta, you know, I was like, oh man, we gotta talk about it. So,
and then from that point, it was like a rat race for both of us to get together. I'm trying to get off work. Of course, nothing works out. By the way, Alan, John, the horror guys, if you don't know this by now, then you're probably new to the channel. So that's great. Welcome if you're new. Subscribe, like, all that, because this is not the only video we do on this stuff. And we happen to know a little bit about the subject. But yeah, it was like a rat race. I'm trying to get off work early. I work 12-hour shifts. You know, you had your gym thing. And then the whole thing was like my daughter's asleep. So my whole family migrates to the basement where I shoot my portion of the video. So it's like, I can't come home. I can't come home at 8 o'clock and be like, you know, I'm taking them, because where are they going to go? So it's like, God, so the earliest, but here we are. It doesn't matter. What matters is we're here now, and we're going to talk about it.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest with you. You know, and again, it's easy to jump into hype because you read these things and your mind can actually create something big. But it sounds like the trailer was pretty solid. I mean, it sounds like it was a pretty badass trailer. You
know what's funny though? We haven't actually said what we're talking about.
No, we haven't.
Halloween ends.
Right.
The Halloween ends teaser, trailer, whatever you want to call it.
In fairness, it will be in the title. But yes, that is true. We are here.
Dude, we're excited, man.
Yeah, a couple of nerds. We're geeking out here. Okay, I mean it's
yeah.
You know, this is it. This is the last one of this trilogy, and this is the last time that we're going to get that first trailer. Now that may sound ridiculous, but for the Halloween fanverse, if you've been following this, these trailers, the first trailer is always second to being as big as the movie being released.
Very true.
I mean, really,
and without even saying what we know is in this trailer yet, we had talked about this before we started recording, that if this is all we get, I would be happy and perfectly okay with it.
Yeah,
because it sounds phenomenal. Like it really does. Man.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it comes down to how much do you need to see before the movie, and of course, you have an insatiable fan base here that's going to want more and more and more and more. But you have to realize there's one movie here. There's one movie. This is it. This is one movie, and anything you see beforehand is something you're taking away from the theater and the movie going, or however you're going to see this movie the first time. Who knows if it's going to be a streaming thing again? I don't know, but you're taking away from that first experience. Now, I feel like we by doing this, we sort of have an obligation to watch everything and to talk about it. So it makes me hope that they're somewhat conservative in terms of what they release. But again, that's up to the movie studio, not even the director all the time. So
it's true. Sad but true.
But you know, hopefully it sounds like this particular trailer may have been more, I don't know if I want to call it a teaser necessarily, but
I'll tell you what they called it. Apparently, they called it a legacy trailer, which actually makes sense. Because the fact that well, we haven't covered it yet, but we're about to. What it shows, basically, they're calling it a legacy trailer.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that. I mean, we had our legacy characters. Now we have a legacy trailer. It's cool because it does, from the description of it, it does cover the legacy of Halloween from '78 2018 to now. So yeah, it actually, I kind of like that name for it. I really do.
Yeah, and I hope that is a theme, and it should be a theme that brings us full circle and brings us to wrap up this Laurie Strode trilogy or saga or whatever you want to say. Technically, it's 4 movies when you count the 1978 film.
Very true.
Being as part of it. I think that, there are a lot of things, and again, there are a lot of things that I want to see, that a lot of people want to see in this movie, things that we necessarily have not seen in these new movies, as good as they have been. I think that this is an opportunity for them to take a step back and slow things down a little bit, which I think is important, because Halloween Kills was such a full throttle kick to the mouth is really what that was. And it sounds like, though, it's based on what we're hearing, it sounds like while this film may do that, they may pump the brakes a little bit and pull back a little bit. It's still going to be pretty intense from what we're reading, from what we're seeing, and from everything we've heard. So
I mean, that's what we say. The initial reaction was intense and terrifying. So I mean, hey, and it's funny because you said it too, and I think a lot of people forget this. As you said, Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills are essentially like Halloween 1 and 2. It's based on the same night. So what a lot of people think, well, I didn't like Kills because it was too fast paced, it was this, it was that. But again, you're forgetting that this is all the same night. So this man escaped, is free again after 40 years, and he's fucking people up. And that is the tone that they've set now. And like you said, now they're going to pump the brakes a little bit. And we're going 4 years after all that now. And really, to be honest with you, after we discussed the trailer, I have a few theories, because now it's changing some of the way I feel about some stuff.
And you're right about that too. And I want everybody to ponder something too. I want you to take the moment in the 2008 film, or excuse me, 2018 film. I'm jumping back a decade even earlier. Take the moment in the 2018 film, and where Michael begins his killing spree, when he hits the streets of Haddonfield and he begins killing. And if you were to string that all together as one movie, all the way to the end of Halloween Kills, the intensity of that movie starts at the point where he hits the streets of Haddonfield in the 2018 movie. It starts there. So it's not as if all of a sudden something changed in Halloween Kills. No, they're continuing on, as you said, from that point forward. So it is consistent. It might feel inconsistent because of where they break it off. And I've said it before. I think if I was going, my only issues with Halloween Kills were it at times was convoluted. There was a lot going on, and it could be, for a slasher movie, for a Halloween film, it could be a little bit difficult to follow or challenging to follow. But there was a story they wanted to tell, and it's gotten us to this point. But this is an opportunity for them to, like we've been saying, to kind of bring it back to that original tone. We're talking 4 years later now. So,
and that's the thing, man. I mean, like you said, this is the perfect opportunity. And I think this is what the plans are. I didn't give these guys credit at first, because I was a little bit nervous and worried about some of the people involved. After seeing the past 2 and how much love they really put into it, and how much consistency, and just the fact that I've said this a million times, and I'll say it a million times again, the fact that they have covered anything and everything that they possibly could, from the knitting needle in the neck to the eye with the
scar on Laurie's arm, and there were other little tiny things too. And I want to point, and this brings us to a good point before we dive any further. I really think it's important, regardless of how you feel about the movies, because I know that it's controversial. No matter what, it's always going to be. But regardless of how you feel about the movies, I think we need to appreciate the dedication and the work that has gone into this, not only from the writing and the acting, but everybody on that crew, from everything, the makeup, the camera work, the lighting, everybody that's been on those sets has clearly worked their asses off. I mean, when you look at those flashback scenes, this is very obviously a labor of love. And, you know, I think that is something that, you know, we have an opportunity as a fan base to watch the work of other fans. And I think that's pretty cool. And regardless of how you ultimately feel about it, because we all have our different visions of how we believe that this would go, you know, but again, I mean, they've done a good job. I mean, they really have, at minimum, of creating 2 very entertaining Halloween sequels.
Yeah. I will 100% eat crow, as they say it, because I was very hesitant on them.
I remember
after seeing it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Because I can't stand Danny McBride. That's my biggest like fault in this whole thing.
I remember.
However, you said it perfectly. It's a labor of love. These guys are fans. It shows. Yeah. Because they've covered everything, man. And like I said, we talked about this in our last video that hasn't even been posted yet. And this one's going to come first because it's an emergency.
It's crazy as that is, but this is an emergency.
Yeah. But it's everything they do is strategically planted there for a reason. Yeah. So, and I won't go into the detail because it is in our other video, but everything they do, man, think about that. Everything that they've done so far between 18 kills has led us to ends, and there's a reason for everything and anything. Even if you don't think it's a reason, it usually is a reason for it. And that's the coolest part about the whole thing.
Writing a cohesive story like that with a plan from the beginning is a difficult thing, and they did it under very difficult circumstances. You had the pandemic that slowed things down. They took that as an opportunity to step back and say, okay, does this change how we approach our story? And they altered it in that way, you know, and there, it's when you think of everything that went into making these 3 movies happen. I remember when we were going to get Halloween Returns. Yeah. You know, and that was a big thing. And then that died. And you know, and again, I remember texting you and telling you, hey, you know, these guys are going to do this. And you telling me that, you know, I don't know about those 2. You know, I don't know.
Now, that one was supposed to be the continuation of Resurrection, right? Was that the one?
I think no, I think that one was actually a similar, if I'm remembering correctly, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that one in particular. And by the way, it's easy to get this confused because there were literally probably 15 different ways this was going to go. They were going to continue Rob Zombie's version and all this and that. The one I'm thinking of that got closest to production was, I think it was going to keep Halloween 1 and 2 canon.
Okay.
And Michael Myers was on death row and he escapes.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I would still actually like to see that.
Yeah, that would actually be I kind of like, dude, that'd be a hell of an opening. Like, honestly, that'd be a hell of an opening. I mean, I read part of the script and it was actually really intriguing. But you know, making a movie is difficult, and finishing it and things don't always work out. But I think this is you know, this is what led us to this, and you know, so here we are now. And we've had these 2 movies. I just have to throw something in there real quick that people may or may not have really thought about, but they kind of made Halloween 2 canon in this storyline by one scene.
I know the scene you're talking about.
Yeah, remember the flashback scene of Sheriff Brackett covering Aunt, closing her eyes and covering her up. That never happened till Halloween 2.
No,
so essentially,
and
they kind of threw that in there a little bit.
Before I saw the movie, I kind of thought that they might do something like that. I thought with Brackett being in the movie, it seemed logical to put, and I was thinking of that specific scene actually. In some form, I was thinking it would be logical to use that footage because, you know, why not? And sure enough, they did, and I looked out loud and said to my wife, "That's Halloween too." And I don't know.
There it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so yeah, I mean, Halloween too. I don't know if I'd go as far to say it was canon, but at least that scene is
They
canon.
at least included it.
They
Yeah, they at
included
least
that scene.
included it a little
That
bit.
scene
Yeah.
is canon. That scene officially happened. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that Ben Tramer got hit by a police car or that the hospital caught on fire or any of that. That's not what
Right.
we're saying. But that scene, so part of Halloween 2 is canon. Part of Halloween
Yeah.
3 is canon in terms of the
Yeah.
masks.
Exactly. Yeah.
And there were other things. Speaking of making other movies canon, as we discuss the trailer, I want to present a thought that I had. But I'll hold off on that. But
all right,
let's move into the trailer. If you're ready, let's move into the trailer. I think
it's time for the main event, right?
It's time for the main event. Let's do it. Michael Buffer.
Okay. All right, Michael Buffer. So Jamie Lee Curtis hit the stage to intro the Legacy trailer, as we are now calling it, featuring flashbacks from the original Halloween from '78, Halloween 2018, and Halloween Kills. But at the ending of the trailer is what's got everybody talking. So we see footage, and I'll break this down, of course, a little bit later. But we see footage of Laurie hiding in a closet, and she then pops out to surprise Michael, and a battle between the two ensue. And we then see Michael get stabbed through the hand with the knife, and it ends with Michael on a table and her actually kind of winning over him to end this trailer. So, okay, now here's what I think is cool about this. We're finally getting the Laurie and Michael battle that we actually were going to get in 2018, but then they canned that ending. Now it makes sense as to why.
Yeah.
I see now why they did that.
They also never included any of that footage. They kept
we've never seen that. Yeah, I've only seen pictures of it.
Very well could be a reason for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you want me to break it down and then we'll go into the theory of
go ahead.
Possibly. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the actual breakdown of the trailer, which I will throw this picture up here too. 44 years ago, the face of fear was born. We then see classic footage of Halloween '78. A murder montage shows the victims of Michael on Halloween night '78 and Halloween 2018. New footage shows Laurie breathing heavily as she hides in a dark closet. Michael stalks the kitchen with a knife. My question is, well, I'll wait till after that. Wait a minute. Laurie lunges at Michael and, stabs at him, and it's a brutal fight. Michael grabs Laurie's hair and slams her face first into a glass cabinet. Ouch. Laurie grips her knife and stabs into Michael's hand. Is it the good hand or the bad hand? Because this poor bastard ain't gonna have no hands left. Trailer ends with Michael on the table. Laurie stands over her prey with a butcher knife. Okay. Now already, I just want to throw this out there that people are complaining about this because they said, well, he just took out 20 mob members, but then she can get him down like this. We don't know the circumstances yet, though.
We don't know this.
We don't know this. Right. They could have been fighting way before this, and we don't know anything. This is all we know so far.
Right.
I do like the little tagline real quick, and I have to find it in my notes. Sorry.
By the way, I just want to say he may have been shot 3 or 4 more times prior to this as well. He may be in a weakened state.
Yeah, absolutely. I really do like this tagline, though. Every scream, every scare, and every slash has led to this. I thought that was super cool.
Yeah. Almost kind of 80s throwback in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just the type of,
She basically says that it's been the ride of her life to portray Laurie Strode since '78. And that this Halloween, we will experience Laurie's last stand. And trust me, it's going to fuck you up. That's a quote from Jamie Lee Curtis before she played the trailer. So, I mean, dude, we've heard all this stuff before. And then she also says that the trailer is legitimately horrifying. So, yeah, I mean, it sounds fucking awesome, dude. Like, I want to see it so bad. Yeah.
So, when we did our first video on Halloween Ends.
Yeah.
We both kind of were in a place where we both said that we feel as though definitely Laurie's going to die. And I think that's where we still stand on that.
Well, I'll tell you, I have a bit of a. Now
Have you migrated? Have you migrated? Okay. Well, then let me hear what you, because that throws me off because I wasn't expecting that, and I do want to hear what you have to say.
But it threw me off too, though, because here's my thing. After like reading just a little bit of what I read off there, and just I didn't look at anybody's videos. I didn't do any of that stuff. I started thinking, man. And I started thinking the end of Halloween Kills, when she obviously gets the phone call, or she makes the phone call and he picks up the phone, right? Now that's a deleted scene that we didn't see in the original cut. Right. Yeah. Now everybody has seen it by now, so we know what their cut scene's there. And she walks off through the hospital with the knife in her hand, obviously going to do this. What if that is the beginning of Halloween Ends and she goes to the house and this is their fight, okay? And what if she thinks, now, I did hear somebody say that they think, well, maybe she'll set the house on fire again. I don't think we're going to go that route again. I really don't.
No, there's not.
It didn't work the first time. Let's let it go, you know?
Yeah.
What if this fight is the opening of this movie? And what if she thinks she kills Michael? And this is why the disappearance of 4 years makes sense now, because we have a time jump, but nobody said it has to be right away, right? And that could explain why maybe she looks a little better, because we saw a few pictures where she looked actually like makeup and hair done and stuff. Maybe she's moved on with her life thinking that he's dead. And maybe this doctor that you mentioned, how maybe, or as one of our guys said on one of the comments, that maybe this doctor kind of takes Michael under his wing. Maybe he is supposed dead and they take him into the hospital and this doctor realizes he's not dead. He takes him under his wing, so to speak. I don't know why he would let someone help him. Maybe a la Halloween 5 in the opening where the old hermit took care of him for a year. Who knows, man? But as far as Laurie dying right away, what if they flip the script and he kills Allison? And this really is her final battle with Michael Myers. I don't know. It's hard to say.
So okay, let me go piece by piece here.
Okay.
The first thing that you brought up is something I hadn't thought of, but it's very, very interesting. And that is the idea that this fight at the beginning is the beginning of the movie, and we're still in 2018.
Right. Then we time jump. Yeah.
Yeah. That is very logical.
Icing on the cake, it takes place at the Myers house. Come on. Yeah. That would be phenomenal. You know, she leaves that hospital, goes straight to that house, and boom, they have a fucking fight. I mean, that's right off the bat, man.
And there you go. Again, they said he's already weak. He's already weakened. He's had the hell beat out of him.
There you go.
That
to me would be a hell of a
From there, it could literally go anywhere from like what you said, the doctor finds him or whatever, to he vanishes for 4 years and or, you know, it's a whole they never found the body sort of thing, or or you know,
at that point, I would say the Myers house would probably be more condemned type of. That's where your Halloween 2 would come in a little bit, where people would probably like destroy the house and fuck.
Oh, you mean you wouldn't want to move into the Myers house at that point?
I mean, I personally would, yes. I don't want him to come back and visit me, but yes. And fuck, I'm already screwed because my name's John. So Big John and Little John didn't do so well, so I'm screwed. But no, dude, like if you think about it, it could be very well like Halloween 2, where like just the people in the town have destroyed the house and that 4-year time span, and it's basically just shit now, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm thinking a lot of different things right now. It's odd, you know.
I still lean towards them grooming Allison to be the person who could potentially carry this franchise forward.
Absolutely.
But
and maybe Michael kills her in the opening thing, and then 4-year time jump of Allison now dealing with that on top of everything else. It could be that too.
Yeah. It could be. I mean, it could go either way. I think that they're trying to be unpredictable here. I think they want to catch you off guard. You know, I want to. All right, this is a good time for me to kind of shifting gears here a little bit.
Okay.
We talk about all the movies that this has brought in. I mean, essentially, nearly something from every single sequel. You have obviously the homage is the original movie. It's a direct sequel. 2018 is a direct sequel to that. You have, all of that. You have Halloween 2 with Halloween Memorial Hospital. You have Halloween 3 with the Season of the Witch Masks. You have Halloween 4 with the gas station in 2018, very reminiscent. A lot of similarities there.
Yes. Yep.
One thing they have not done is really incorporate anything from the Rob Zombie movies. Now, I've never made a secret that I'm not a fan of those movies. However,
maybe just his brutality somewhat, maybe I guess you could take a little bit from that, you
could. The mask being worn a little bit. There hasn't been a white horse yet, just please, let's not do that.
But, please not. No.
Now when I say this, full disclosure, I'm not saying that I want this to happen. At least if they do this, I hope they do it in a way that doesn't totally ruin it. But from the first 2000s, the first Rob Zombie film to the second one, there's a time period where Michael Myers of several years, or at least I don't know what the time jump is in that. I don't remember what it was, but there's just a long time period where Michael Myers is basically missing and living
anywhere.
Do we see homeless Michael in this movie?
It's at this point he'd have a big white beard looking like Santa Claus, basically. It's possible, man.
Have there been any pictures of a very scruffy looking James Jude Courtney?
Not that I've seen. Just that little bit of white that I've seen. That's it.
Well, that's good news, then.
But who's to say with makeup and fake beards, it's possible.
Maybe Michael has access to a razor and he keeps himself clean shaven.
Oh yeah.
Does it with the knife.
There's got to be something, because we've talked about it before. Obviously, the fake name is Cave Dweller, and there's that 4-year jump. So something has to explain where has he been, who helped him get there.
Yeah.
If somebody did help him get there. There's a lot of questions, man. And really this makes you think, well, really, what the hell's going on now? Because now we've heard it's going to piss us off. And she also says it's going to fuck us up. Which one is it? Or is it both?
Nick Castle was a little lighter on his description in saying that it's going to something along the lines of it's going to be something you don't expect or something.
It's, how did he say it? It's not really what you would expect, and it's going to be something to see how it all unrolls. Okay, how does it unroll then? How are we doing this? We talked about that in our other video, that this will come first, but still, you'll get to see it eventually. I do have a small bit of news on the mask. It's the same mask from 2018 and Kills.
And I want to point out there are people saying that it's a new mask. It's a new mask in terms of it's the same mask with more wear and tear added to it. I don't want people to think that there is, at least from what we've seen in the trailer, he's not gone to the drugstore and gotten a new mask.
I mean, he might. He did that in part 4, remember?
He might. I'm not saying it's not going to happen.
True. So it's the same mask from 2018 and Kills. It's just more messed up. The mask is a lot more aged and dirty. So maybe that plays into your 4-year time jump and all that shit. The mask has dried up blood stains on it from when he killed Karen. If you remember from the end of that scene, that mask was full of blood, man.
Yeah.
It was all over the place. And then killing the mob, obviously, too. The mask was bloody as shit.
Yeah.
And the hole from when he got shot in the face in 2018 is now stitched up. So somebody fixed that thing.
Some point in time, he stitched it up, or somebody stitched it up for him.
Yeah, somebody did something. Now he did kind of take care of his own hand in the bathroom, so maybe he knows how to sew too.
Well, you know what we teach our kids and everything. When you have property, you want to keep it nice and keep it good. I mean, he's just applying that principle to the mask. It's very important to him.
It's very true. I mean, if you think about it, in Halloween '78, Laurie was knitting. Well, we thought she had her knitting stuff in there because she stabbed him in the neck with it.
Yep.
In theory, they're not brother sister in this theory, but maybe back in '78 when they were brother and sister, maybe she taught him how to knit. I don't know. Who knows?
Could be. Maybe he jumped. Maybe he jumped through the multiverse.
Right. Hey man, if Spider-Man can do it, so can Michael Myers. Shit.
I wonder what kind of blanket Michael Myers would knit for Christmas.
A very bloody one. Very bloody one. Yeah.
These are the things we ponder here on this show. So I mean,
yeah,
it's an open forum.
So what are you thinking as far as the Rob Zombie thing? Are you thinking more along the lines of like how we almost got if it would have happened? The theory was the third one would have been Laurie Strode. Now his Laurie Strode version would have been Michael Myers because she basically saw the white horse, and that means she's starting to go a little fucked up.
Yeah.
Do you think something like that with Allison maybe?
Well, first of all, I think that if they would have let Rob Zombie do something like that, it would have sucked.
It would have flopped. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have.
I don't think they'll ever do that. I think that the way the Accods view this franchise is Michael Myers is the franchise, and that's it. You know, the only way I could see a non-Michael Myers entry is if they did a TV series where they maybe might do an anthology thing, but I think that's even stretching it a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
No, I think Allison is. My instinct tells me that Allison is the heir apparent to Laurie's throne in terms of being the final girl. And if they continue this story on, it's going to be centered around her and now her issues with Michael and how it goes forward from there. Or the other thing that everybody kind of dances around, because I don't think really a lot of us think that it's possible because it's never happened. Maybe they really end this thing.
It's quite possible. Now, let me ask you this. From what we've heard so far, just this bit of just Laurie and Michael having this fight, how do you feel like Lindsay Wallace factors into this, like at all? Is it just to bring her back because she didn't do much in Kills, or is she actually there for a reason?
You know, I heard that her role originally was limited, but the fanfare that she got from her parts in Kills led to them actually writing in a bigger spot for her in this. Now, that's pretty vague.
Nice.
That's pretty vague. You know, in terms of what does that mean? Is she do we have what we would call, is this like a Scream situation where you have, you know, the equivalent of a you know, Gail, Sydney, and whoever the new final girl happens to be. So now we have Lindsay, Laurie, and Allison, you know?
Right. That's essentially
I could see it.
Your strong female characters, and then you have Hawkins that still plays a part in this in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And that's another one. He is obviously, like you mentioned in the other video that we have yet to publish, at the time of this one being published, you know, right. Hawkins obviously, you don't do a retcon of a death like that. I mean, it was very apparent to me that at the end of the 2018 film, it was intended that he was dead.
Yeah. You
don't reverse something like that and kind of, because that's a very difficult one. I mean, that's hard to believe that guy could survive all of that.
Right.
You know,
he's kind of the dark horse, I think, of leftover characters. He's kind of, because you don't know, you can think about, okay, we've talked about that. I think he's definitely going to be the new sheriff of Haddonfield, obviously.
Yeah.
But I also feel like you're not really sure what his character. I think as sheriff, he's going to be a way better sheriff than what we've had in the past too, because that sheriff fucking sucks.
Yeah.
His purpose really was not even served in those movies whatsoever. So I think Hawkins will be a better sheriff. But how far are they going to push him? He wants to kill Michael Myers too. Laurie wants to kill Michael Myers. I'm sure Allison wants to kill Michael Myers. Lindsay has her, okay, you killed my friends, I want to kill him too. But it's one of those three that is going to be the one to finally kill him, if that's the route they go.
Yeah.
It's got to be one of those three.
Well, in terms of Hawkins, he was stabbed in the neck, run over by a car, and he laid there bleeding for how many hours?
Right.
And he still somehow survived. Maybe we find out he's plagued with whatever superhuman strength Michael is plagued with, and neither of them can die.
And
you got like the two, the immovable force versus the irresistible object,
So here's a question for you, just because if Dr. Loomis, Donald Pleasance, was still alive today, how do you think he would factor into these new movies? What do you think? Because what do you think the new people, obviously David Gordon Green and his crew, how do you think they would take the approach of the Donald Pleasance character? For me, I feel like he would have been an 18, but I feel like they would have killed him. They would have killed him off. We would have got him one more time. He would have served his purpose. Hell, even Sartain may have killed him, to be honest with you, to take over and be that main doctor.
I could see that. It's possible. It's possible they could have pulled a bracket, and so I mean, obviously his character would be very much against him being. He would. I mean, Loomis wanted him killed, terminated. Oh, that's the way they wrote these movies. It's crazy to say this. I think if Loomis was in this movie, I don't know that we'd have Sartain, for one thing. See, I think that would have changed the entire.
It might have.
I think it would have changed everything.
I could see Loomis being obviously very old at this point. He would have been in real
over
life,
100 years old,
101 by now. Yeah.
So
his character obviously would have been a very old man. Sartain supposedly worked with him and kind of shadowed him all those years. I could see him killing the Dr. Loomis character. Obviously, he's going to fight to not get Michael transferred. He's not stupid. He knows what's going to happen. Even at an old age, if he had Alzheimer's, his ass would be like, he would know.
Honestly, being that, let's say he had been alive still and somehow was 100 years old, or however, somehow he's still alive and he's able to film, at least in some capacity, something. One way they could have approached it is the only Loomis you get is just maybe the podcaster stop and talk to him for a minute. That's and true. He gives a very Loomis speech about Michael, and this is what I think, and then that's it.
And that's true too.
And maybe you find out later that he passed away, or something along those lines. That's probably more of a realistic thing if he were alive and still able to do this. It's like he was such a strong presence in this franchise. It's weird that we're seeing movies without him.
That's why I think I love that callback and that little flashback to him, the Dr. Loomis character, obviously. Was so cool to see, because like you said, man, he was a huge part of this entire franchise. That was one of the most consistent things through all the way to Halloween 6 was technically Dr. Loomis. He was there for 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. I mean, the dude was the consistency of those films.
With all due respect for Jamie Lee Curtis and Laurie Strode, I would say that outside of Michael Myers, Dr. Loomis is probably the most heralded character.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The most beloved character in the entire series. I mean, I believe that.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's weird without him. But it's just it's hard to think of how these films could incorporate him. If you had a younger Loomis, obviously, I think it changes the story. if we were to, to do something, but I mean, obviously that was, I think maybe, even it would have been cool to have, a situation where he's on his deathbed and they do an interview with him or something, and he gives his last, great Loomis style.
In a way, we got it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, with on the tape that was playing. He has to die.
And who's to say that there's not more of that in the pipeline with this one? I mean, we're talking 4 years later. Maybe more of that comes up. Maybe a news station is playing old interviews with Dr. Loomis talking. Who knows what we could or may not get. But
that's true.
But that's an interesting question.
I don't know, just kind of popped in my head. Real quick while we're here, because we cover horror news. It's not as cool as Halloween Ends, of course, but this CinemaCon also told us that we're going to get a Nun 2 is finally coming out. We're getting a Quiet Place prequel.
Another one?
We're getting a Ghost. Yes, actually a prequel of Quiet Place, and then we're getting a eventual third one in the actual story still.
Okay.
And then we're getting another Ghostbusters that picks up after Ghostbusters Afterlife. So those are a couple other horror related,
And I guess I should correct myself. The Quiet Place was kind of a prequel / sequel because there was a continuation on.
Those were decent. I liked the first two.
I enjoyed both of them.
What the hell's going on? So I hope if they do make a third one, please explain that to us, because damn, they're good, but damn it, explain something here. But the prequel, who knows? I don't know. That's just what I heard.
Yeah, I would certainly, excuse me. It's getting late here.
Yeah.
I would certainly hope that they had had some sort of grand plan for these things.
Right.
Hopefully it's not just let's continue to make movies as long as we can. I would like to see a solid beginning, middle, and end, but who knows? You never know anymore. I mean, sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't.
Man, I'll tell you. So before we go, real quick, your overall thoughts on what we know so far of the Halloween Ends trailer. What do you think overall?
Well, I mean, in truth, we don't know a lot, but from what it sounds like. Let me ask you a question, real quick. That picture that looked like young Michael standing in the fog, is that legitimate, or was that just something somebody posted? Do you know anything about that?
That I don't know for sure. I think that was supposed to be somewhat of a look of what this mask is going to look like, and then. If that's real, that's an awesome ass post.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I would take that too.
Yeah.
I'll try to post that on here.
Throw that up there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
In terms of what I think that we're off to a good start in terms of how they're promoting this thing. It sounds like we're in for at least more intensity. I don't know. It's really hard based on what we got from what we've read, what we're going to get in terms of overall pacing of the movie. But, and I apologize, guys. I'm not used to being up this late.
It's all right, man. It's all right.
But I think that we're off to a good start, and hopefully, I'm fine with getting more. Obviously, but I really, really hope that they're more cognizant this time of this is the last one, so let's do it right. It's kind of right. But it really sounds to me. But it really sounds to me like this is going to be a another fun, intense, ride. Not reinventing the wheel here. I think it's going to be very similar to what they've been doing. In many ways.
And I feel like for us, the more that comes out about it, the more our theories are going to heighten and change and everything else.
Right.
It's going to be like, do you remember when Bobby Heenan they'd ask him what his prediction was on a match, and he'd say, "Oh, he's going to win," or "Here comes my winner right here." Right. That's going to be us every time something new comes out about this. We're going to have different theories and shit.
It is. It
Yeah.
is because it's fluid at this point. We had
Right.
you got to remember our theories before this were based on very little information. Now and we said this before, things are going to change as we start to see more and get more and read more and hear more. And I'll even say this, if they release this trailer in a week and we watch it, there's going to be something that we see that wasn't picked up on this that may
absolutely
change something. So it's something that's going to continuously change and evolve, not just with us, but with all of you, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
And I want to point one more thing out. It's, this movie, and, we always talk about expectations. At this point in time, this is the third movie in this series.
Yeah.
You know how these movies, you should know what to expect in terms of how these movies are done at this point.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a barometer of what to expect, I think we know. At this point in time, it's all about where the story's going and what's going to happen.
It's true.
And
we don't know yet. That's the thing. We don't.
No. And all they got to do.
I kind of like that though.
I do, and that's what makes it fun.
It's fun to come up with our theories and stuff. And I just want to say this too, for people that are going to watch this, that these are our theories. This doesn't reflect on how you feel. We're not telling you to feel that way. This is just stuff that we're coming up with and we're sharing with you. So obviously, when you watch this and you want to comment on it, tell us your theories, because we want to hear what you guys think too.
Always.
If you've seen the footage, definitely tell us how you feel. If you haven't seen the footage and you're getting it from what we told you that we know, we want to know how you feel too. If your theories have changed, or if their theories are going to change more, we want to know this. Let us know.
Yeah, and we'll read that, and we'll pick the best comments or whatever, as many comments as we can. We want to know. This is a community. We want this to be a community, and we value what you guys have to say and what you guys think. We've already read a lot of really cool theories, a lot of really great comments have been posted. I think that's really, really fucking cool that we're able to do that. Absolutely. Put it all in there.
Dude, it makes people feel like they're part of it too. You know what I mean? Like, we're just two dudes that love horror, man, and we're here talking about it. So when you guys comment on our stuff, it makes us feel like we're bringing you in on the show too. So it's cool to have that, whether they're good or bad. You can call us a bunch of assholes and we're still going to post it and we'll share it. That's okay. That's right. It's okay.
Yeah.
It won't be the first time I've been called an asshole. So,
it won't be the last either. I mean, I'm used to it at this point.
That's true. We're going to let Alan get some sleep because he's been up all damn day. You know the drill. Follow us on YouTube, follow us on Spotify, follow us on Apple Podcast, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And anywhere and everywhere else that we pop up, you can watch us or you can listen to us, either way you want to. But make sure that when you go to YouTube, hit that subscribe button.
That's the name of the game. And then what you need to do is tell your family and your friends and your cousins and your uncles and the people you work with, your kid's baseball coach, the guy at the bank, the person at the gas station, the grocery store line attendant, the janitor, everybody that you talk to that likes horror about this show. Because the more that happens, the more people we get, the bigger this community grows, and that's cool. That's what's cool about it. This isn't our show. This is a community. We're just providing the content for which to discuss. So
very true.
So that's the way I look at it, and hopefully you all look at it that way as well. I'm glad that we were able to get this in. I promise you, I will not go to bed though until I get these files sent to you because that's important. So.
I mean, for me, I just want to throw this out there before we go. I'm excited. I was excited to do this video. I'm even more excited after hearing the stuff we heard about the trailer. I can't wait to see it. And I'm like even more hype for this movie in October, which again comes out on my birthday. So I'm ready.
It's a good birthday present.
I'm saying, hell yes. Happy birthday to me.
Guys, I mean, hey, I'm excited too. Obviously, this is why we're here doing this. I know that it's not going to be possible for me to wait beyond any longer than I have to before I go see this movie when it comes out. And I'm just excited to sit here after we've seen it and talk to you all about it.
Oh man,
maybe even more so.
I don't know
actually.
How. Depending on the ending, man, I don't know how I'm gonna feel yet. I just don't know how I'm gonna feel
yet.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
What I think I could say is we could do an immediate reaction and then a reaction after we've had some time to think about it. But either way, that's later on down the line, guys. Thank you for watching. Again, subscribe, like, all that stuff. Follow us. And that's all I've got.
I'm done, man.
And we'll see. We'll see you guys. This has been fun.
Later.
Fans, check out and follow the Horror Guys. You can find them on Facebook, facebook.com/The Horror Guys. On Twitter, Horror Guys 21, that's HORRORGUYS 21. On YouTube, The Horror Guys. And also on Spotify, search for The Horror Guys.
Beetlejuice.